When God says let go, that's not just a title, that's a test, and every one of us will face it, not once, not twice, but again and again. Because the Christian life isn't built on comfort, it's built on calling. And calling always requires letting go. Letting go is not losing, it's trusting God doesn't ask you to let go to take from you. He asks you to let go to give you something greater. When God says, let go, your first instinct might be to resist, because what He's asking for often feels like the very thing that's keeping you sane. It's the relationship that made you feel loved, the job that gave you identity, the habit that numbed the pain. But hear me, ***, letting go is not losing. Letting go is trusting. ***, and trust isn't something you say. It's something you, live ***. You don't prove your faith in the comfortable places. You prove it in the breaking. You prove it when your heart says, hold on. But heaven says, let it go. See, we confuse security with control. But God doesn't bless control. He blesses ***, surrender ***. And some of you are wondering why you feel so exhausted in your soul. Could it be because you've been holding on to something that God already told you to release? You're fighting to maintain something God has already removed His grace from, and you keep calling it faith, but it's really fear in disguise. You're afraid that if you let it go, you'll lose yourself. But let me tell you something I've learned in the breaking. ***, what God asks you to let go of, He already has a plan to replace with something greater, ***. I feel this for someone what you call loss. God calls ***, preparation, ***. God is not trying to empty your hands to hurt you. He's trying to empty your hands so He can ***, fill them ***. But if your hands are full of what used to be, where will He put what's meant to be? There's no room for the promise if your grip is still on the past. And we pray for peace, but peace doesn't come when you cling ***. Peace comes when you release ***. Because peace isn't the absence of pain, it's the presence of trust ***. Can I go deeper with this? Letting go doesn't mean you didn't love it. It doesn't mean it didn't matter. It doesn't mean it didn't shape you. It means you trust God more than you trust yourself ***. It means you're willing to believe that His plan really is better, even when it doesn't make sense. Even when it hurts. Even when you cry as you release it. Because faith isn't about knowing the outcome, it's about knowing who holds the outcome ***. Don't mistake comfort for calling. Some of the greatest things God will do in your life will start with a *** willingness to walk away ***. Walk away from the familiar. Walk away from what makes sense. Walk away from what once worked but no longer fits. And that's scary. Let's be real, it's terrifying. But you're not letting go into the dark. You're letting go into the hands of a God who sees all, knows all, and loves you more than you love yourself. Let go of the illusion of control. Let go of the idol of certainty. Let go of thinking you have to understand everything before you obey. God is not trying to break you down, He's trying to build you up. But building begins with release ***. And some of you are one obedient decision away from the break. Through you've been begging God for, let go. Not because you're giving up, but because you're finally giving it to Him ***. You can't grab hold of the new while holding on to the old. Spiritual growth requires spiritual release. You can't move forward carrying yesterday's weight. You can't grab hold of the new while holding on to the old. That's not just a catchy line, that's a spiritual principle. You can't step into what God has next for you if you're still wrapped up in what was. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough, But your hands are full of baggage, full of yesterday, full of disappointment, full of this is how it's always been. And God is saying, I'm ready to take you forward, but you're too busy looking backward. How can you walk into destiny if your eyes and your heart are still in history? I came to tell somebody, God is doing a new thing, but He won't force it into your old framework. You can't pour new wine into old wineskins. You can't plant kingdom purpose in a soil of past pain and expect fruit to grow. That's why it feels like everything is shaking. That's why what used to fulfill you now frustrates you. That's why you're uncomfortable, because God is shifting you. You're not broken. You're being stretched You're not stuck. You're being separated He's pulling you out of Egypt, but you're still craving onions and slavery when He's trying to feed you manna from heaven. Let me make it plain. You can't pray for Canaan and still sleep in the mindset of captivity. You can't say, God, take me higher, and keep building your life around the same broken patterns. Some of you are treating your past like it's a safety net, but really it's a trap. It's a trap because it's familiar. And familiarity feels safe even when it's toxic, even when it's small, even when it's killing you slowly. You've adjusted your expectations to match your trauma instead of adjusting your faith to match His promises. Listen, I know letting go of the old is scary. I know stepping into the unknown requires courage. But hear this, your growth is always tied to your ability to release. That's why the enemy wants to keep you attached to how it used to be. He knows that if you ever let go of what's behind you, what's ahead of you will intimidate hell. The devil is not afraid of your past, he's terrified of your future. He's terrified of you walking in healing. He's terrified of you walking in clarity. He's terrified of you letting go of bitterness and finally becoming free. God says, I have more for you, but I can't give it to hands that are already full. What needs to be cut off in this season? What have you been dragging from an old chapter into a new one? Some of you are blaming God for the delay, but the truth is, you haven't made room. You're still trying to mix the miracle with the mess. And God doesn't build on confusion. He builds on obedience. If you want next, you have to release now. And it might hurt, it might be lonely, but it's necessary. Because every step forward in faith is a step away from comfort. Every act of obedience is a break from the past. So don't just pray for new ***, prepare *** for it. Let go of the familiar. Open your hands. God is not trying to take. You're being called to ***, trade ***. God's let go is often a setup for a divine upgrade. Abraham had to let go of Isaac on the altar, not to lose him, but to witness God's provision. God's let go is not a punishment, it's a setup, a divine setup for something greater than you could ask, imagine, or plan. And the problem is, it never looks like that at first. It feels like loss. It feels like confusion. It feels like, God, why would you take this from me when I needed it so bad? But what if I told you that God's asking you to let go ***, not to leave you empty ***, but to upgrade what you're carrying? What if this isn't subtraction, it's preparation for multiplication? Look at Abraham. God said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and offer him as a sacrifice. What? This is the promised child. This is what Abraham waited years for. And now God's saying, lay it down. That doesn't make sense in the natural, but this is where *** faith kicks in ***. God doesn't always move how we want. He moves how we *** need ***. And sometimes what looks like God taking something from you is actually God trusting you to carry something greater. Abraham didn't know what was coming, but he knew the voice that called him. That's what you need in this season. Not more clarity, more trust, not a detailed explanation. A deeper asterisk asterisk, yes, asterisk asterisk. You think you're losing your foundation, but God is laying a new one. You think He's closing a door, but He's asterisk asterisk, constructing a whole new hallway asterisk asterisk. And the tension you feel between what you're letting go of and what hasn't yet arrived, that's not punishment. That's God tilling the soil of your faith, because only faith can carry the weight of what's next. Only faith can walk up that mountain with Isaac and say, "The Lord will provide." That's not delusion. That's asterisk asterisk, revelation asterisk asterisk. And some of you are one act of radical obedience away from your next revelation. You want God to show you the ram before you go up the mountain. But the provision doesn't come asterisk asterisk before asterisk asterisk your surrender. It comes asterisk asterisk after asterisk asterisk. After you say yes, after you lay it down, after you obey without all the facts. Because asterisk asterisk faith obeys without full detail asterisk asterisk. If God gave you the full picture, you wouldn't need faith, you'd just follow a plan. But He's not raising planners, He's raising believers. And here's what shakes me every time. Abraham never had to sacrifice Isaac, but he had to be asterisk asterisk willing asterisk asterisk. Some of the things you think God's taking from you, He may give them back, but not until they no longer sit above Him in your heart. He will test your heart to see what you're anchored to. Is it the gift, or is it the giver? Is it the platform, or is it the purpose? Is it the dream, or is it the one who gave it to you? God is not being cruel, He's building something in you. Something stable, something strong, something rooted in surrender. He's not just upgrading your circumstances. He's upgrading asterisk asterisk, you asterisk asterisk, your faith, your mindset, your capacity, and sometimes in order to move you forward, He's got to shake loose what you thought you couldn't live without. Because when you finally let it go and step out in faith, that's when you'll see the provision was there the whole time asterisk asterisk, waiting on your obedience asterisk asterisk. What you let go of reveals what you trust you are. Hands tell the story of your heart. Open hands mean surrendered faith. What you let go of reveals what you trust. You can say with your mouth all day, "I trust God," but the real evidence is in your hands. What are you still clinging to? What are you still refusing to release? Because your hands will tell on your heart. You can shout hallelujah on Sunday, but if you're still clutching that toxic relationship, that safety net, that old identity, then God doesn't really have your trust. He just has your attention. And there's a big difference. Some of us are walking around with fists clenched so tight, white, knuckling our own plans, our own preferences, our own version of how life should go. And God is standing right in front of you saying, "If you would just let it go, I could show you what I've been preparing for you." But we don't release because we're scared. Scared of what it'll mean. Scared of what we'll lose. Scared of being left empty. But let me tell you this. Asterisk asterisk, empty hands are the only hands God can fill asterisk asterisk. He can't bless what you refuse to surrender, and I know you've been hurt before. I know it didn't work out like you thought it would last time. I know it felt like you trusted God, and He let you down. But that's not the whole story. Sometimes God lets something fall apart, not because He failed, but because He's freeing you from what was never meant to hold you. And the longer you grip it, the more it becomes a weight instead of a weapon. The more it becomes a curse instead of a covering. It's wild how we ask God for peace, but we won't let go of what's stealing it. We ask for clarity, but we keep holding onto confusion. We want growth, but we keep clinging to comfort, And God's saying, I'm not asking you to understand, I'm asking you to trust. And trust doesn't mean you're not scared. Trust means you do it asterisk asterisk, scared asterisk asterisk. It means you open your hand even if your heart is trembling. It means you say, God, I don't get it, but I'm giving it. I don't see it, but I surrender it. I don't feel it, but I release it. Listen to me. You can't worship with one hand lifted and the other hand holding on to something God told you to drop. That's divided devotion, that's partial obedience, and partial obedience is still disobedience. God wants asterisk asterisk, both hands asterisk asterisk. He wants your career plans, your timelines, your relationships, your need for control, not because He's trying to dominate you, but because He's trying to asterisk asterisk develop asterisk asterisk you. Letting go is not about loss, it's about loyalty. Who do you really believe is in control? Your hands will tell the truth your words can't fake. And maybe the most powerful act of worship you'll ever offer isn't your voice, it's your surrender. It's when you say, God, you can have it, all of it, even this, especially this. That's when chains break. That's when doors open. That's when heaven moves. When your hands match your heart and your surrender matches your faith. That's when you don't just say you trust God, you actually start to live like it. Letting go hurts because you're human, but obedience heals because God is faithful. Emotion doesn't disqualify your obedience. Let go even if your heart breaks. Letting go hurts because you're human. Stop beating yourself up for feeling the weight of release. Stop thinking something's wrong with your faith because your heart is breaking while your hands are opening. Feelings don't disqualify obedience. Faith isn't the absence of emotion. It's the presence of asterisk asterisk decision asterisk asterisk. So yes, it's okay to cry while you let go. It's okay to grieve what you gave up. But don't let the pain of the moment blind you to the power of the obedience. Because what hurts now is actually healing something deeper inside you. You're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. Some of the most powerful steps of faith happen while we're still bleeding, still uncertain, still scared out of our minds. And that's exactly where God meets us. You don't have to fake strength for Him. He's not looking for your performance. He's looking for your surrender. So if you've ever let go of something with shaking hands, with tears in your eyes, with a lump in your throat, I want you to know, you were never more in the will of God than you were in that moment. That's what obedience looks like, not clean, not perfect, but asterisk asterisk real asterisk asterisk. We forget that even Jesus in His humanity wrestled with letting go. In the Garden of Gethsemane, He said, Father, if there's any other way, let this cup pass from me. Do you see it? The Son of God asking for another option. But then He said the words that shook eternity, Not my will, but yours be done. That's the sound of surrender. That's the power of obedience, and guess what happened next? After the pain, after the letting go, after the betrayal, the cross, the silence, asterisk asterisk, resurrection, asterisk asterisk. Let me tell you something. You don't get resurrection without the cross. You don't get the crown without the letting go. And some of you are in your Gethsemane right now, asking God, why does this hurt so much? And God is saying, because I'm birthing something in you that can't be built in comfort. I'm resurrecting something in you that only surrender can unlock. Letting go is a death. Yes, it is, but it's a death that leads to asterisk asterisk life asterisk asterisk. So go ahead and cry. Go ahead and feel the pain. But don't confuse the pain of letting go with the lie of abandonment. God hasn't left you. He's walking with you through it. He sees your obedience. He sees the relationship you released. He sees the dream you laid down. He sees the comfort you sacrificed. And He is not wasting a single tear. Heaven keeps receipts. Obedience is the bridge between where you are and what God has promised. And sometimes the bridge is built plank by plank through every no, every surrender, every decision to trust even when it hurts. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of faith that shifts atmospheres. That's the kind of faith that lets go with trembling hands and says, even if it costs me everything, I'll obey. Because in the kingdom, obedience is never loss. It's always the first step to victory. There's power in the pause between letting go and seeing. Why don't waste the waiting? The in-between is where God reveals his purpose. Letting go is not the end, it's the beginning. The enemy wants you to think it's over when you release something. That when God says, let go, you're walking away from purpose, from potential, from promise. But what if I told you that letting go is actually the first step into everything you've been praying for? That when you let go, heaven leans in. That when you surrender, God begins to orchestrate things you couldn't make happen in 1,000 lifetimes of effort. Because God doesn't call you to release just to reduce you. He calls you to release to reposition you. And yes, at first it feels like loss. At first it looks like something died. But just like a seed in the ground, the burial is not the end. It's the setup. Because God never buries anything unless he plans to resurrect it in a new form. The calling is still alive. The promise is still alive, but it may not come back the same way. It may not look like what you imagined. It may not fit your timeline, your plan, or your preference. But it will fit your purpose. Because your purpose isn't tied to what you lost. It's tied to what you were always meant to become. See, the enemy's greatest fear is not your loss, it's your comeback. It's your transformation, that after everything you released, you still worship. That after everything you let go of, you still believe. That after walking through the valley of letting go, you come out stronger, wiser, more focused, more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness than you've ever been. That's what the devil's afraid of. He's not scared of your pain. He's scared of your praise after the pain because that kind of praise is fire, tested, battle, hardened. That kind of worship shakes foundations and breaks chains. Letting go is not weakness. It's war. It's warfare against every lie that says you have to stay stuck. Warfare against every voice that told you you'd never be free. Warfare against your own fear that says God won't come through this time. But he will, my God, he will. He's too faithful to fail. He's too consistent to forget. And even when you don't see the fruit yet, the roots are growing. Even when you don't feel the breakthrough, heaven is moving and you're not behind. You're just being aligned. Letting go is you stepping out of the boat. It's you walking on water when the storm is still raging. It's you saying, God, I trust you more than I trust what's under my feet. And it's in that moment when you've got nothing left but faith that miracles begin. That's where God does his best work, in empty hands, in surrendered hearts, in lives that say, whatever you want, I'll follow. Because surrender is not a period, it's a doorway. And on the other side of that door is not just survival, but supernatural purpose. On the other side is not just peace, but power. Not just release, but resurrection. Not just letting go, but rising up.